Webheads unite! What's up, guys? Welcome to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And fans, I am your host, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to bring you, that's right, guys, after the poll episode. I think this is 16, not 15. It didn't change the name. I don't know what happened there. I guess I never saved it, so I'm going to hide it. So this is episode 16. This has to do with, who's your favorite? Gwen Stacy, Black Cat, right? Mary Jane. We'll talk about that later, but that's the title of the show. And yeah, guys. So at any time, if you like this show, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Give this video a like. Don't forget to hit that bell. And if you can, super chats are much appreciated. So thank you so much. So I'm hoping to have a really good show today. I added a book at the last moment because I had some extra time to read it. And yeah, so the first book we're going to be talking about today, guys, is Marvel X issue 2. Then today we're going to be talking about X-Men. This is issue 6. Thirdly, we're going to be talking about Spider-Man Alien Reality, issue 3. Next, we'll be talking about Thor, issue 3. Then we're going to be talking about Spider-Man, The Black Cat Strikes, issues 1 and 2, because that was recommended to me from some of my friends from Comic Frontline. And next, this was at the last moment, Venom issue 23. This is one of the requests from Bavarian, one of the Webhead members. She said she was down for talking with that one, so I decided to put that in there. And then last but not least, we're going to be talking about Gwen Stacy issue 1. And of course, like I said, our topic, who is your favorite, Mary Jane, Black Cat, or Gwen Stacy? Who is your personal favorite? And who do you think is the best for Peter Parker? So that's some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about today. So first off, we're going to check the comments on here and see who we have on the show. We have Jacob, who said, I will be at work by the time this starts, so have a good day, Webheads. So thank you for joining. Hold on, I got one text real quick, guys. All right, so next we have Rob, who says, whoop, I'm early, so must have been on the show a little bit early. And Andrew says, hello, Webheads. Happy after the poll day. That's right, guys. And Rob says, howdy, Andrew. So we're talking to each other. See, that's what we're doing here. We're creating the Webhead community. How's it going, Rob? So I'm just doing the conversation. He says he's doing well. It's a little cold here, but off of work for the day. Been reading my haul from yesterday. And you, he says, Tone Locos, what's up, Webheads? Rob says, howdy, Tone. Andrew goes, about the same, but at work, catching up on my poll. Pretty chilly here as well. And then we got the thumbs up. All right. So we were counting down till the show was starting. And then I'm recommending everyone to join the Facebook group called Comic Book Corner 2.0, Webheads Unite. Here is the actual link to the show, so you guys can hopefully copy that and check it out and become a member today. It doesn't cost anything, and you get to see all kinds of behind-the-scene things, little stupid things I do, things that I'm reading, little articles. So hopefully you guys can actually join. Okay. And he said, Rob says, okay, I'll join. Comic File says, pew pew pew, and Virtue Comics does the same thing. So we're pewing each other. Scoundrel Gaming Superheroes Are My Life goes, hey, man, I got Joker finally. It's good. It's good. The music of that film, OMG. I still have to see it. So is it actually on Blu-ray already or at 4K or whatever it is that we're watching these days? Esau says, yo, Mike, what's up, Esau? How you doing? Scoundrel Gaming Superheroes says, Black Sonic, meow, which universe are we in? LOL. Dude, not meant Black Sonic. LOL. Okay. Spelling is bad. He's sorry. And he says, oh, yeah, Black Cat story in Gamerverse is crazy. And then Tevia joins this show and says hello. So early going here. We got about 13 viewers, guys. Remember, as always, like the video, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell and join that Webhead community, man. It's a lot of fun. It's the new thing. I'm going to be doing some contests soon on the YouTube channel as well. So stay tuned for all that stuff coming up, guys. So great things ahead. So let's kick off this party. Let's get it started here. Let's talk about the comic books. All right. So our comic books are being talked about now. And just the weekly warning that there will be spoilers here. Okay. So any of the books that I have read already, there will be spoilers. So be prepared. If you haven't read those books, just mute the video until I'm done talking about the book. So hopefully you guys read some of your books already. I read about 7 or 8 of them. So, all right, here we go. So the first book we're going to be talking about today is Marvel's X. This is issue 2. Let me get the books for today. All right, so here we go. So Marvel's X issue 2. First off, really nice looking cover here. Alex Ross does these covers. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. You get to see Spider-Man in there. Okay, and then you end up getting to see Daredevil in there. Sorry about the glare. And Ghost Rider. And stays true to what's in the cover because those are the characters that are actually in the book. Okay, so this is a continuation off of somewhat of an apocalyptic universe of where all these people have gotten mutant powers or become heroes and they don't know how to control it. They're like eating other people and all kinds of weird stuff like that. Okay, the artwork in this book is really dark, gritty, fits the tone of the book of a world that's been falling apart. This is the way the book actually looks. So, yeah, it looks really good. And so we have about this boy whose family died because of this whole situation. So we're following this boy, and he got picked up by a trucker, okay? And he's trying to take him to New York where he could possibly find all the heroes. And so what happens in this book is they come across a whole bunch of bad guys that are in this black tunnel. And the funny thing is this guy takes off his disguise or whatever, and we wind up finding out that he's Ghost Rider. So that is hilarious right there. So he's Ghost Rider, and the kid's freaking out. He's like, holy shit, I don't know what to do. So he's running away, and he's like, kid, I didn't mean to hurt you. I'm just trying to help you. So he winds up running away, and he goes to New York, and all hope is lost for this boy. And we wind up finding out that that pretty much everybody is basically zombified or mutated and doesn't know how to control their powers. And he's pretty much like the last boy on Earth almost, or human possibly. But the person that winds up picking him up is Spider-Man. And Spider-Man is, I want to say he's much more matured. He's been through the battle. He's not the positive person that he once was. He's not quippy. He's really down on himself. He rescues this boy. We wind up finding out that, yes, he has a daughter in this universe, and her name is May. And we find out that Mary Jane also died because of this whole situation that happened. And really, Daredevil is the ray of hope when it comes to this series. He tries to guide Peter in the right direction. We know that there's this threat that's actually coming soon, that's waiting for this boy to die and whatnot. So it was a pretty interesting issue. But yeah, we don't know what this threat is and why it wants the boy. We have no idea, but the book is pretty good. It's interesting, and it's interesting to see Peter Parker in this world. Again, he's really down on his luck, and he just is kind of over everything. And then you get to see behind the scenes situations here with Alex Ross on how he was creating his characters, which was cool. So you get to see like this version of Daredevil. You wind up getting to see Johnny Blaze in here, and how, he was maybe changed a little bit for this title. We wound up seeing Aaron Stack, who is Machine Man. So he made his appearance briefly in this book as well. And then we got Spider-Man. how they kind of changed like the nose line and the mouth line to kind of, match up, I guess, with, maybe his facial features a little bit. And we find out that in this book, he is probably in his mid to late 30s in here. So we see a pencil sketch of him in this book also, which is kind of cool. And he's got kind of gray on the sides to show his little bit of aging and his little more maturity. And then we get to see May, who, wears a Black Widow t-shirt. And in this universe, she also has powers as well. So yeah, it was a pretty good book. It's basically the heroes rescuing this boy. They have to protect this boy. And what happens from here, we don't know. Why is this boy wanted? Is he the key to a cure to save everybody? So interesting book. I'm definitely on board going forward with this, going to issue 3. Great book. I definitely suggest it if you guys haven't checked it out yet. So really cool. All right. So let's move on to the comments and let's see what everyone else has to say on here. Let me scroll down to see. Dun, dun, dun. All right. All right. Joshua is on the show. Says, hi, Mike. What's up? Welcome, Joshua, to the show. Nothing much, man. Just doing the show. Read some comics today. Talking with all you guys right now. Next, Scoundrel Gaming says, Superheroes Are My Life. Says, yep, it's on the Blu-ray. Okay, cool. So I'm going to have to pick that up. I have been meaning to watch Joker for the longest time. And you guys may think I'm crazy, but yeah, I just haven't had a chance to watch it. All right. Next, we have Tevia, who says, I just did my video on the new 52 Superboy pitch from Tom King and Kenneth Rocaford. And personally, this series looked 10 times than the awful new 52 Superboy garbage. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know why the point of discussing a Superboy series that was going to be released in the new 52. That was like so long ago. Like, why not display that news a long time ago, right? I mean, what's the point of showing that news now? There's really no point to it. Terrified Cup says, hey, so welcome. And Joshua says, I'm getting mine on Saturday. So we're talking about the Joker copy. And Scoundrel says, I'm a little bummed Sony pumped the release date for the Avengers video game to September instead of May. Dang it. Hey, well, you gotta sit there and realize when it comes excuse me, when it comes to these video games, right, we got to remember that, hey, man, we got some things that we got to finish. You got to make sure that the production's right. We got to make sure everything's right because you don't want a game that is, going to be flawed or not right. So you might as well take your time on it, right? Rob says, how's your eye doing, Mike? Yeah, so if you guys didn't know, if you haven't watched my haul or checked up the Facebook group, I had a really bad irritation in my left eye, this eye right here. And that's why I'm wearing my glasses. And so luckily it was nothing serious. There was no cut or tear or anything like that. And the doctor said it was just really, really bad irritated eye. So I'm on some eye drops now and I have to wear my glasses for the next week. I can't wear my contacts, which sucks because if you guys know, I teach tennis. And teaching tennis with my glasses on, I see the ball completely differently than my contacts. So it's been really kind of rough couple of days. But the good news is my eye is doing well. Thank you for asking. I got a lot of advice and good well wishes on the comments. So thank you for asking. I'll be okay. I just can't wait to get my contacts again. All right. Next is Tevi goes, I completely forgot that came out. Talking about Marvel's X, I'm assuming. I love Spidey in Marvel's X. Yeah, he's just this broken down guy. He's like, Mary Jane is done. He's like, I just got my daughter. And he's just like, I just do things to do things now, but there's not really left people to save. He's just like, he's just there. He's like, why do I have to really rescue this guy or this kid? Why couldn't Daredevil just do it? It's so funny. Tevi goes, isn't this a prequel of Earth X? Yes, it is. Absolutely it is. And I'd never read Earth X, so I'm going to have to somehow pick that up or whatever. Joshua goes, I can't wait to get Flash. I've been loving that series a lot. I haven't read Flash in a very long time. All right. Let's see. Tevia says, "Oh, Mayday. Yeah, May was in there." It doesn't really say if it's her. It just says May. So I'm assuming that it could be her, right? Scoundrel goes, "I'm taking a break from comic book reading right now because ever since I found out that Percy Jackson book writer went to do plus for a TV show, so I'm reading the Percy Jackson books for now." Percy Jackson makes some good books, man. Right, better, as Tevye is saying. Peter Parker's on. He goes, "Hi, Mike. I'll be here for about 10 minutes. Then it's tea time." Yes. Enjoy your tea, Peter. Thank you for tuning in for the short time. Hopefully you'll catch the rest afterwards. Tevye says it was meant to say better. He's determined. Or an Anthem situation, which was terrible. Nola Nerd says antibacterial soap is the best. It wasn't pink eye though. That's the thing. I think it had to do because when I was serving tennis balls, there's this big, huge reflection off this building. And I was serving to a student of mine, and they were receiving the serve. And I was literally, this eye was looking up at that reflection for like 20 minutes. I truly think that is what caused the irritation in my eye. Hunter Thompson says, What's up, you gang? Josh Anderson says, "Have a good day. Hope your eye gets better. Bye." Thanks, Joshua. Hopefully you watch the rest later. Reprint of Earth X Trade came out this week. Yes, I remember it was coming out, and I just don't remember the date, so I'm going to have to pick that up eventually. Thank you for letting me know, Slime. Scoundrel says, "I just realized that these vids help bots spend as much because I've been looking forward to buying more books and comics and films. LOL." All right. So we're going to move on. One more comment. Tevia says, "This Spidey sounds miserable and not fun to be around, but I understand why he lost his wife. But personally, this Spidey should be at least a good father." Not saying that he's not a good father. It's just, he's just depressed. You know, the man's been through a lot, right? Think about it. Spider-Man, great power comes great responsibility. And he's kind of failed on all angles here. So he kind of holds himself to that, you know? So, all right. All right, guys. So again, if you want to join that Facebook group, Comic Book Corner 2.0, Webheads Unite, I put it in the chat there. If you guys just copy and paste that link, you should be good to go. All right, so let's move on now. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about X-Men issue number 6. So that's the next book we're talking about. Let me get that out of the pile here. All right. So X-Men issue 6 was a pretty good book, as this features Mystique. And this kind of goes back to the Dawn of X, the Hawks and Pox books. Oh, let me hide this. Sorry. All right. Series, as it goes back to that. Okay. So this was a pretty good issue. As we get to see what her motives were when it came to joining the X-Men and what she had to do. It goes back to the director Devo and that Dr. Gregor person. It went all back to that. I thought was kind of interesting. But it was some good interactions between Xavier and Mystique and all that kind of stuff. That was kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, really, she goes back into that space station. She wants to plant a Krakoan portal on there so the X-Men can actually do their mission to destroy that whole mother mold situation. So it's kind of like a whole behind the scenes situation that you didn't see before. And then we wind up seeing that Mystique actually killed herself so she wouldn't get captured. And you wind up seeing the reincarnation process with Mystique as well, which was kind of cool. And it's kind of funny because her Cerebro download wasn't up to date. So it was up to date like right before she went on the mission. So she didn't remember all the mission's parameters and details and all that other stuff, which was kind of interesting. And obviously she feels like she's being used. She wants her wife back and stuff like that. And kind of Professor X is holding her to that whole situation, be like, you need to do this for us, and you need to do this for us. And it always seems like Professor Xavier wants something, And we get to see this conversation with her and dude, what's her freaking name? I've totally forgot her name. If you guys can remember what her name was, I don't remember. But you have a conversation between her and she's basically saying, yeah, things are going to get set up. They're going to tell you to do this and they're going to tell you to do that. So she's listening to her. And so, yeah, it was an okay issue. It wasn't like, I guess, my favorite issue when it came to this, but it was kind of cool how they really touched on Mystique on here and kind of like, fill in the gaps between all these stories when it came to the X-Men. So this one was okay. I don't think it was my favorite one. I like Mystique as a character. But yeah, I thought it was all right. X-Men is a good book. It's just, I don't know. There's always so many plot threads going on. And that's Hickman's writing. That's what he does. And sometimes you forget what happens in previous issues and you got to go back and kind of catch yourself up on certain things. So yeah, I mean, we'll see where that one actually goes. But I want to go back to the last story, where they went into the Sentinel and they went into this, going into this different time period and they sent this entire team in there. And so that's why I feel like this book has a problem with it. Just skips around too much. All right, so let's see. We got a couple people just say, Scoundrel Gaming says, I'm a huge spender, so I look forward to what I might buy. So it's like a weird font, buy too much and just say your spelling's a little off. Can't quite make out what you're trying to say there. He also said, I just made pizza and forgot how the pizza was. And I just burnt the crap out of how hot the pizza was. And I just burnt his hands. Okay. So he burnt his hands because he ate hot pizza. Gotta be careful, man. All right. Tevye says, I didn't know Mystique was married to Destiny. That's who her name was. That's right. Because I assumed they were friends, not a married couple. I think it was mentioned in the original miniseries of Dawn of X. I think that's what they were talking about originally. And again, that's what I'm talking about Hickman's writing. It's when you read his books, you got to really pay attention because you never know when something's going to come back at you, so many issues from then. And so, yeah, I remember in the beginning, she wanted Destiny back. That was her whole motive to joining the X-Men side in the whole Krakoa thing. If it wasn't for that, I don't think she would actually join them. Anthony Roman says, what's up? Thanks, Anthony, for watching. And then Tevye says, but you know what I am fine with? Mystique being married to Destiny. Okay, that's cool. As long as you don't have a problem with it. Rob says, everyone give a thumbs up to the stream. Thank you, Rob, for supporting the channel. Let everyone know to give it a thumbs up. Really appreciate it, guys. Everyone here that's taking the time watching, it's much appreciated. Scoundrel says, I hope Peyton's list becomes Black Cat in the MCU. That would be great. LOL. And Anthony Roman says, LOL, like you have a choice, buddy. Because unlike Iceman, which was really stupid, awful retcon garbage, this one actually made a ton of sense. Yeah, I know we have our situations with Iceman, but it is what it is. And Scoundrel says, yeah, I'm sorry about my spelling. That's cool. Just watch your spelling so I understand what you're trying to say. Andrew says, X-Men issue 6 wasn't the strongest issue of the series so far. Although I thought Mystique was going to beat the crap out of Charles with his own Cerebro helmet. I mean, he was kind of a dick to her, though. He's always like, oh, what have you given to us? What have you done for us? We'll give you what you want when you do stuff for us. He was kind of an asshole. Those two just don't get along, So it was an okay book, not my favorite. Again, I just want the story to piece together a little bit better. Like, give me 2 issues of one plot line. I don't want 30 plot lines going on, at one time. And then Tevye says, X-Men 6 does open so many questions that I'm hoping we really do get some answers. All right. Okay, so let's move on, webheads. Let's go on to the next book we're going to be talking about. And this one is Spider-Man Alien Reality. Okay, so we got that one right here. So this series has been really solid so far. Okay, we get this alternate universe that Spider-Man is in. Hobgoblin kind of controls it, right? And he's made Sorcerer Supreme Stephen Strange a bum. Spider-Man has a girlfriend, but it's Natasha, and she's known as the Red Cat, not the Black Cat. And all the heroes are a little slightly different, okay? And then, spoiler in case you guys didn't know that, that's why I warned you earlier, is that in this universe, Uncle Ben is alive. So you're just like, whoa, that's kind of cool. But unfortunately, they don't really touch on what really happened so much in the last issue and kind of like, I guess, what Peter was going through. They kind of just dive into the action in this issue, okay? Which is fine. It's not a problem. I mean, it's only 6 issues, so you can't drag it on too long. So what happens is we wind up seeing Spidey, Natasha, and Stephen Strange, or Doctor Strange. They wind up going to, I don't know where it is that they go. They go to some place, and they wind up, I guess, going to practice magic for Spider-Man so he can take on Hobgoblin, the Hobgoblin Sorcerer Supreme, I guess, or whatnot. So they're going to this temple, and they wind up getting attacked by Morbius, which was kind of cool. And so he makes this brief appearance in here, and the symbiotic portion of Spider-Man does some quick work to Morbius. Okay, so you wind up seeing that action happen in this book. So that was kind of cool. And we see Doctor Strange. He comes up to Spider-Man, and he's like, "You're not Spider-Man, are you?" He goes, "You're something else." And the symbiote kind of, can, I guess, telepathically or somehow communicate to Doctor Strange. And he goes, "Your secret's safe with me, but, don't leave." So what happens wherever they're at, they wind up getting all this, Spider-Man gets all this training in the magic arts and all this other kinds of stuff. And where they're at takes years and years for time to happen. But in the real world, it's only like weeks, whatever the case may be. So we wind up seeing Spider-Man come back to like it's one or a few weeks later, and he winds up doing battle against Dr. Octopus, and he uses his magic and all this stuff. And then you start seeing him go against the Hobgoblin, which is kind of cool. And he uses the spell where it makes multiples of himself. And Hobgoblin's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, you've gotten great at what you do, your sorcerer shit and all that stuff. So it's kind of cool. Baron Mordo shows up, and he, I guess, is the true Sorcerer Supreme. And we wind up seeing them battle each other. And we find out that when they leave, that Natasha is kind of like a traitor in this thing. She's like an undercover agent, working for Mordo. So yeah, and you get to see her there, and she's like, "Oh, shut up and untie me, you moron. I have to do everything around here." So like, she's behind it. So she's the villain, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, Felicia Black Cat is like that anti-hero where she can play both sides. Natasha is a spy, and I guess, like, she's both. She's like Black Cat and spy in this book. So this one was good. It wasn't, however, my favorite issue of this series. I think it kind of took a little bit of a downward turn because not much really happened in this book. All you got to see was Spider-Man train, become stronger at magic. So if you like, Spider-Man that has magic powers, that's cool, but really nothing else really happened here. He slapped Morbius around a little bit, and but that was it. And then you just got to the action at the end, and they retreated. So the biggest thing here is the whole Natasha thing. So it was an okay book. The last issue was much better. I felt like it had a much more emotional impact, the whole situation with Ben and May and whatnot. So issues 1 and 2 were 1 was great, 2 was even better, 3 a little bit worse, but it's still a good book. I still recommend it. Go ahead, check that one out. All right, so let's see what we got in the comments. Got a few comments here for maybe Sorcerer Supreme Spider-Man. Let's see. Let's see if this is new. Okay, yep, we got that one. We got that one here. So let's see. Does your kids like reading? I think Percy Jackson is an easy way to get them to love books. My son has read every Percy Jackson book. Definitely, he really likes them. So and he's a good reader. I don't want to say he's a good reader in comic books, but he likes actually reading real books. He's read a few comics. One day I'm hopeful that me and him can actually do like some reviews together as he gets older. Tevia says, wait, what again? Because haven't we seen Uncle Ben alive in other universes before? Yeah, that's not the surprise, but the way they did it in this series, it was really emotionally driven and you kind of didn't expect it. And so I liked it. Xavier Frank says, I love this series, but never trust a girl with a nice body and red hair. When I first saw her, I thought she was actually Mary Jane as Black Cat. That would have been really weird, wouldn't it? But it was Natasha. And when I heard it was Natasha, I'm like, man, that's kind of even more weird. Rob says, so with Uncle Ben alive, does Peter Parker never learn his mantra of with great power comes great responsibility? Yes, he does. He realizes he's in an alternate reality. So obviously he still has that. Because 1 minute he was fighting in his world and the next minute he wound up ending up in this alternate reality. So he knows that he's not in the right place. So when he found out that his Uncle Ben was alive, it was like, man, maybe I just like it here so much more. And then something else catastrophic happened in issue 2 that was like, nope, just kidding. So yeah, it was crazy. Tevia goes, isn't this taking place in the past? Because I'm so confused. Alien reality is definitely taking place in the past. It's taking place when Spider-Man first got his alien suit. And you know how the alien suit, I think it was Spider-Man issue 260 something, 50s, whatever, when he got the black suit. And the suit used to go out to town while Peter Parker was sleeping. So this kind of takes place during that timeline. So I want to say like the early 80s. In the comics. So yeah. Let's see. Then Tevia says, yeah, that doesn't surprise me either. Andrew says, Spider-Man Alien Reality has been so much fun. I hope Marvel continues doing stories in this universe. Yeah, I think Greg Land, is phenomenal. And Peter David telling this story is great. And then I got Nola giving the $2 super chat. So I really appreciate that, Nola. Thank you so much for the super chat. All super chats are greatly appreciated, guys. It helps things go a long way so I can take this channel a little bit further and bring you guys more things, right? So soon I'll be starting contests. When I want to start doing them or what I want to give away, I'm not quite sure yet, but I think that will be a lot of fun for you guys and kind of show a little bit of my appreciation towards you all, because you guys, sacrifice your time to talking to me and watching my shows and stuff like that. So again, Nola, thank you for that $2 super chat. Rob goes, Anthony says, is your eye still burning? It's not burning. It hurts a little bit, but it's getting better. So I talked about it earlier in the show, but it's slowly getting better. I had the eye doctor call me today. She's making sure I'm okay. I got a follow-up appointment on Tuesday. So I'm looking forward to that there. Get my contacts back in. Tevia's like, I got you. He understands now. Scoundrel says, you know what? I'm thinking, I guess, I'm going to start reading the spin-off to Percy Jackson books. I have all 5 of the original books and a couple of spin-off books. That's cool. Hopefully you enjoy them. He goes, but after the stream. That's cool. All right, so let's move on, guys. Let's talk about the next book. We talked about that. Ooh, let's talk about this book. We're going to talk about Thor. If I can find it in the pile of books. There it is. Thor issue 3. How many of you guys read this book yet? And if you haven't, like I said, mute it and we'll talk after the fact. But Thor issue 3 basically doesn't, I don't want to say it doesn't really progress the story all that much. It's a really big fight. But what Donny Cates does a good job at is explaining Thor's life. Thor is a god. He's been alive for a very long time. And when you look at the amount of time that Thor has been alive, he can't remember all the battles that he's been through, all the wars that he's fought. There was this great dialogue in here where he says, like, how certain things, he goes, for the mid of an undying and ageless God, what is 2 years of a raging war but a fraction of a second to him? So that's where it is. He goes, a decade may be remembered as a minute, and 100 years an hour. So think about all the things he has done and battled, right? He probably doesn't remember half the shit that goes on because he's always doing fight after fight, battle after battle. And so it makes for a quite interesting thought process when you think of Thor as a character. So what happens in this book, we got left cliffhanging with in issue 2 with Beta Ray Bill making his appearance, right? And so obviously Beta Ray Bill has this thing against Galactus because he's destroyed his people, he's destroyed his planet, and Beta Ray can't believe that he is working for Galactus here. So they try to do this battle, but it's just like a complete fail for Beta Ray. Like Beta Ray makes this attempt, and Thor just slaps him away with just like a slap, and he goes, "Brother," he's like, "you can't fight me." He's like, before we were equals, but now he's like, it's I have the power of a god. He's like, and I'm a king, and I have the power of Galactus. He's like the power of cosmic. And but he keeps trying and he keeps fighting, and that's basically what this is. And Beta Ray gets some shots and licks on him. And the cool part of this book was, as this battle continues, Beta Ray winds up trying to hold Thor's hammer and prevent it from going back to him. And it's practically like almost ripping off his arm, but he's holding his own. And so he's trying to get it back. And the next thing he does is he gets Stormbreaker and he shatters it against his own hammer. And you're like, oh shit, that is crazy. And he's just beside himself. And Thor's like, I warned you. He's like, just go on. Let me do my thing. This is for the better cause of the entire universe. And just Beta Ray can't do it, And so what happens is, just as, Thor was about to take care of Beta Ray Bill here, what do we find out is that Lady Sif winds up making her approach, and she goes, if you're going to defeat him, you got to go through me. And I was just like, oh, shit. So that's how it ends. So even though this story, when it comes to the Black Winter, wasn't progressed all that much, you did get to see this first really big epic battle that Donny Cates presented to you between two brothers, basically, and it was sad to see. And it was kind of, sad to see Stormbreaker be destroyed. So now Lady Sif's going to be in here. So what is going to happen next, right? Really interesting. And if you look in the background now, Galactus is all fixed up. He's got all his hands back. He's got his freaking his leg is fixed. He's got like a different colored suit now. He's like fucking Tron. He's all the shit right now. And that's just one planet. What's going to happen to him when he eats those other 4 planets? Like, so if he defeats this Black Winter shit, who's going to defeat Galactus at this point? That is, maybe the long-term goal here with this story. I don't know. Really good book. Can't wait for it. I'm loving Thor, though. I think it's a great, great book. All right, let's see what we got. All right. So, Rob says, if I can get it to come up. There we go. Donny Cates is killer. Tevia says Thor 3 is really awesome and epic. Yeah, it's a pretty badass book, man. Venture Comics says Thor, best new story arc. So good. Comic File says Thor 3 was a fun, gory fight book. It surely was. Sean goes, I had to read Thor. It seems like Thor is everyone's, like, once they get it, is #1 book to read first on their pile. If I am correct, put that in the comments below, guys. Comic File says, really enjoying Donnie's Thor right now. Sean says, as soon as I got out of the store. That's awesome. All right. Andrew says, Thor issue 3 was absolutely awesome. Give me a Donny Cates Better Ray Bill comics stat. Man, that would be cool to see him back, right? Scoundrel Gaming says, would you like to know what I'm going to read from the spin-off books of Percy Jackson? Yeah, you can put it in there real quick. Xavier says, huge fight. I'm grabbing Stormbreaker. Him grabbing Stormbreaker was epic. Yeah. And I really thought he was going to rip off his arm. Because Thor said, he's like, it's going to rip off your arm. As soon as I call it there and you get to see the veins popping out of his arm, wouldn't that be sick if it did rip off his arm? I think I would have rather seen that, or somehow rip off his arm and destroy Stormbreaker. That would have been intense, dude. All right, next. Andrew says, also, Nick Klein has been killing it on art. Yeah, I agree with you. I think the art is pretty good, too. I think some people said that the art wasn't all that great, but it's nothing wrong for me. I think it's good. It's kind of a darker tone for the book, and that's fine. It's darker time period for Thor right now. LOL better gets some shot and kicks. Funny, man. Stupid autocorrect clicks. Things just got real. Andrew, Sif. Tevi goes, he'll become a god. Are we talking about Better Ray? I'm not sure what that says. All right. G-Spot says, Thor doesn't remember all the fights, but he does remember the women he slept with. LOL. That's awesome. Rob's laughing too. Oh boy. Let's see what else here. Ignore the ignore sentence from before. My device glitched out on me. LOL. Xavier says, LOL. Yeah, I thought he was going to rip it off too. Yeah, that would have been sweet. Then I think it probably would have been too gory of a book. Okay. Gates is the first to read also in Venom. Gates is a first read to also. Yeah, absolutely. He's been killing it on those books. And let's see. Scoundrel Gaming says, okay, sweet. I'm reading the Trails of Apollo books 1 and 2. A Hoyer spinoff are in the end of time. The cover art looks amazing. I hope you enjoy those books. You reviewed Venom yet? No, I have not talked about Venom yet. I meant Galactus. Oh, okay. All right, so let's move on. Okay, so we talked about Alien Reality. We talked about Thor. All right, we're going to talk about Spider-Man and the Black Cat Strikes, issue 1 and 2. Now, a couple of my friends over on Comic Frontline said, Mike, why aren't you reading the Gamerverse Black Cat series, right? When issue 1 came out. And I'm like, I don't feel like I'm going to know anything about it because it's a Gamerverse thing, right? Because I never played the game. I don't have a PlayStation. And so they're like, but you like Felicia, and Felicia's really well done. So I was like, they're like, you got to check it out. And I'm like, okay. I said, when issue 2 comes out, I'll buy it. So issue 2 came out, and I wound up getting both books, issue 1 and 2. And man, this is a way to write Felicia Hardy, man. I mean, this series is really good. And the artwork is gorgeous in here. And I should have known better because Dennis Hopeless writes this book. I love Dennis Hopeless as a writer. He wrote Avengers Arena. He did the Spider-Woman book in the past. He's done countless books that I have read in the past. And I love his writing. And this is undoubtedly one of my favorite series as of right now because I read issues 1 and 2. Now, Mary Jane and Peter Parker are together in here. Mary Jane works with Peter as like kind of the person in his ear, trying to do some kind of investigative work for Peter to solve crimes, right? So in this series, we wind up finding out that that Felicia is after this hard drive that's been stored in these paintings. What these hard drives actually are, I guess, keys, or they're a key to like all the undergrounds, mafias, keys to their money or whatever it is. So Hammerhead's behind this. He wants all these USBs to get all the codes to steal all the money. It's like a quick rich scheme for him. And Black Cat is the one that's after these things. And she is holding her son, okay, over her head. He will kill her son if she doesn't deliver, okay? Who is her son? I don't know, right? And what this book focuses on a lot of is Felicia and Peter's relationship during the time when he was not with Mary Jane. The artwork is really gorgeous in this book, actually, too. I think Felicia looks good. I think all the characters look nice as well. But yeah, it features them in that relationship in that time period. Okay. Now, Peter is thinking, oh shit, did I just have a kid with Felicia during that time? And at all this time as well, we're going through this current mission that they're on trying to stop, I guess, prevent or working with Felicia on this whole, USB thing and all that other stuff. And Peter is kind of shutting out Mary Jane at the same time while this mission is going on. And she's kind of feeling like Peter still has feelings for Felicia. And again, they're teaming up to try to, solve what's going on or prevent her son from being killed and whatnot. So, and this is how it kind of ends. It's like them web swinging together. Mary Jane happens to be there and she looks up and she's like, oh, great. She's jealous, about their relationship, how they're heroes. They can be together. They have this great relationship with each other. And yeah. And I thought it's an awesome read. It's so good. And I actually like it better than the real Black Cat series that's currently out right now, because I think Dennis Hopeless knows how to write the character. It's just like she's an awesome anti-hero, right? She is so seductive that Peter loves her, and it brings out kind of like the bad guy or the little edginess in him and the clumsiness in him as well. And that's why, Felicia is like my favorite girl for Peter, because, she can be good. She can be bad. She's ultra sexy, and that's my take on her. But the book itself is phenomenally written and great artwork. So yeah, I definitely recommend it if you guys haven't picked it up yet. All right, so let's see what we got here. Okay, so we talked about this. Let's see, what does this one say? Did I get that one? Wait a minute. Graphic novels of Percy Jackson? Sweet. How many are there of that series? That I'm not sure of. LOL says, good job, Tevia. Peter Barks says, I'm back. Pepperoni pizza is all done. So he's back. He had his tea. And he's watching the show. Okay. Next, we have Scoundrel Gaming says, I don't really know how many volumes, but from what I saw from Hoopla, it looks interesting. Okay, so they're talking about those books. And Tevi is like, yay, Mary Jane. Let's see here. And Scoundrel says, sweet, I will check the graphic novels this weekend. I think I might have had one, but I'm not sure. It might have been a Tron comic book. LOL. Andrew says, glad you're enjoying the Spider-Man Gamerverse book. I really dig it. Rob is laughing. Rob is saying he's a spider daddy. Tevi's like, oh, yeah, what isn't this from the DLC game? See, I don't know if it's connected to the game or not, because I never played it, but it's connected to that line, obviously. Rob goes, oh, I'm sure Felicia loves Peter, too. Sounds like a good book to add. Yeah, Vinny, I say you would like this one, man. I think this is good. This is the best Black Cat I have read in a very long time. even better than the main book, like I said. Is it a limited series? I think so. I just don't know how many it is. Like I said, my friends told me to pick it up, and I picked it up. I'm sure it's a limited series. I'm sure it's like maybe 5 issues. All right. Scoundrel says, sorry for missing out on the last stream. I had to work that week. LOL. We'll catch up. That's no problem, man. Not everyone can make all these live streams. You make it when you can make it. If you can watch it after the fact, that's great. Peter says, too many of these alternate universe, just a cash grab. Peter, this one's good, though, man. If you do like Black Cat and you love the character, she's written really well here. Really, really good. Like, this is better than that Mary Jane series that's out right now. For me, that's a cash grab. It's just like, how long is that going to go on? Like, I don't care about her making a movie. This actually has a book about her teaming up with Spider-Man, and her and Spider-Man have a relationship with each other in the past, and Spidey could have a Black Cat baby, right? So I don't know. We'll see. Probably not, though. Curious who her son is, though. Because he's like, who's the kid? And she's like, we'll talk about that later. So Baked the Snake is on. He says, what's up, everybody? And everyone's saying hi. Let's see what else we got here. Internet's probably running slow because the comments are coming up super slow. So sorry about that, guys. I don't mind if it's cash grab if the story is good. Yeah, it definitely is a good story. All right. Then it says, local comic shop is having a buy one, get one free month and might pick this one up then. Yeah, absolutely. Go for it. All right. Let's see what we have here. Scoundrel Gaming just gives a smile. And Peter goes, I like that Mary Jane book, Mike. Hey, I'm glad you like it. I can't get into it, man. I just feel like it's too drawn out for me. And I love Mary Jane. I really do. I just thought that story was going to be something a little bit different. And I want to thank the 30 viewers that are currently watching the show. Thanks, guys. Bruno Gonzalez says, hey, just want to say that even though I'm kind of new here, I love your channel and keep it up. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. New, old, from the beginning, like Peter Barker. He's been following me for like years. Thank you all the same. You guys are all great. Okay. Let's see. And then Andrew says, welcome, Bruno. Welcome to the gang. And then I'm going to throw up that link once again for you guys. If you want to join the Facebook group, Webheads Unite, that would be awesome. I currently have like 68 members on there already, and it just launched not even a week ago. So thanks, guys, for joining up on that. All right, so let's talk about the next book. Okay, so we're going to talk about the one that a lot of you guys wanted to talk about. And that one goes to, and I got to find it now. I think it's Venom, right? Issue 23. So this is the continuation of Venom Island, right? So this is issue 23, part 3 of this story. So this book here was pretty good. It was action-packed. People are all like, what's going on with Eddie? What's happening to the symbiotes? What's happening to the Dylan kid and whatnot? And my God, I'm in my garage today and I realize it's really fucking hot outside today. Like, it's 87 degrees here. Like, is that stupid for February? I'm like sweating my ass off. I'm used to it being so nice out. And I'm like, am I talking that much or I'm like sweating really bad? But no, man, it's just hot. So anyway, going back to this, we wound up seeing in the last issue, Eddie Brock wound up cutting off his hand because the symbiote had attached to him and was going to kill him. And the symbiote, his other and Carnage symbiote were attached as one, making this evil symbiotic thing that was taking over the island. So Eddie had to escape from it. So he cuts off his own hand. He ties off his hand. Okay. And he stops the bleeding. He's about to pass out. He finds a sword or machete, and he has to cauterize the wound. Otherwise, he's going to bleed out and die. So he heats it up in the fire, and he does that, and he basically almost passes out doing it. In the meantime, we go back to Liz Allen's apartment with Dylan as he's talking with Sleeper about the symbiotic piece that he has from the Grindel, the dragon that I guess Noel had or whatnot. But it was attached to everybody. It's attached to Noel. It was Venom. It was Carnage. It was everything. And we still don't really know what's going on with Dylan, how his powers are. Somehow he can see through these symbiotes, and it's just weird. You really don't know what's going on with him. But somehow he noticed that his dad was in trouble. He can see through, like, he can connect himself through, like, the hive mind or whatnot, Sleeper is continuing to tell him, hey, what you need to do is you need to get rid of this thing, because this thing is going to be, ultimately, in the end, it's going to be trouble, okay? So we see Eddie. He climbs the tower. He's thinking, I need to get somebody here to help me. And we see this desperate attempt of the Carnage symbiote and the Venom symbiote combined, trying to get Eddie off of this tower. And what happens is he reaches to the pole. He shocks himself. It separates the two symbiotes from each other, the Carnage and Venom symbiote. And he falls to the ground. They're all messed up. And it looks like you would think that they're trying to reach for Eddie, like who's going to bond with Eddie. And the next thing we know is he passes out and Captain America picks him up, okay? And he has no hand and he's all messed up and he doesn't have a symbiote with him. And he's like, but my other, it's behind. And what they do is they nuke the island. What the fuck? Where's the symbiote? Where's Carnage? Where's Venom? Right? What's going to happen? And that's how it happened. It's the end. There's no way that any symbiote could survive that explosion, especially if Eddie can't feel nothing, right? So I was just like, man, what's going to happen here? So I wasn't even going to talk about this book because I didn't think I was going to have time to read it, but I had like an extra 10 minutes to read this book and I read it. I'm so happy I read it so I could talk about it with you guys. So it was awesome, right? All right, so let's see. We got a lot of comments here. All right, so let's see what we got. What we got. Go back here. Slime says, let's see if we got it here. Important to know all comics are cash grabs. It's just a question of whether it's a good book or not. All comics are trying to make money. That's true. Sometimes we tend to overproduce things, right? We got like too many Deadpool books or too many Wolverine books or too many of this or too many of that, right? Hey, just wanted to say that even though we got that one. Sorry about that, Bruno. It's my internet, I think, is just running super slow right now. I hate when that happens because I hope it doesn't cut off the stream. Let's see. All right, let's see. Rob says, oh, you should have got the Scotty Young cover, dude. I didn't even see it there. I don't even know if they had it. Slime says, yes, true, but cash grabs used here is when a book is total shit. And Venom says, is the hand on the cover a mistake? That's what I said. I said that in my comic book haul. I'm like, did they forget about the hand or they just didn't want to give away that his hand was cut off in the last issue, right? Now it's like a Rick Grimes things. Daniel says, hello from Germany. Thumbs up. Man, that's a far ways. Thank you for watching, Daniel. Scoundrel says, Mimi, I need to watch more memes. Sorry, I'm a little spooked. LOL. Okay. Vinny says it's like 10 degrees in Kansas. All right. And it says my local comic shop was charging $20 for the Scotty Young cover, man. Irritated. That's a shame. They shouldn't charge that much. In Germany, we got stormy cold weather. I bet, boy, man. All 30 peeps in the stream. We're up to 33 right now, guys. Rob says, I got 5 issues for the cover price. LOL. Time to move to California. Peter says, wished it was 87 degrees here, more like 8.7 degrees. Vinny says, at Comic Hell, nah, that's messed up with the cover charge for a book they know is popular. I don't take that practice. Yeah, that's a shame. You know, it's the same thing with what's going on with this newest Batman issue that's coming out next week. I think we're at, Batman 89 with the new character of Punchline. People are telling me that book is on eBay right now for $37. How the hell, how can the hell you charge for a book that's not even out yet? Are you telling me you're getting that book? So you're telling people when you have that book, you're going to charge them $30-something to buy it? That's just wrong, man. It's messed up. And that's what I don't like about like eBay sales at times. Like, let the freaking issue come out first. Like, at least let it come out first, right? That's just ridiculous. I don't know how you can charge $30-something for something that's not even out. It's just insane. We got issue says, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Esau says, yes, it's 5 degrees here in the Midwest with a wind chill of -10. Man, oh man. Let's see. It's really cold at my head. Whoops, autocorrect. That autocorrect is a problem, isn't it? Tevi is like, yeah, Eddie Brock. All right. G-Spot says, one of my LCS closed for good last week. Guy told me the landlord was being a douche. So that means he was probably charging you a shit ton of money, wasn't he? That sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully you're able to get your books. Wow, Eddie's become a Dutch from Rambo. Cool. Yeah, that's kind of, he's kind of like, or he's like the Terminator, right? Or not the Terminator, from Predator. WTF, isn't that overkill? Because there's no way the Venom symbiote survived that nuclear explosion. Man, I wish I could still keep up with Venom. It was always my first read every time it came out. Vinny says, holy shit, I don't see how anything survives that nuke. No crap. There's no way. Unless it's on somebody else or they captured it. Maybe they captured them as they were approaching Eddie. Maybe Captain America jarred it up somehow. There's no way that they're dead. There's something going on there. All right, let's see what else we got here. I sound like I need to read more Venom, but for my comic book reading, I'm still just trying to find DC books or characters I haven't heard of. That's hard. It's really hard. Andrew goes, G-Spot Comics, I feel your pain. The same thing happened to me last month. Yeah, Andrew told me that his shop closed, right? But he's lucky he had another shop within the vicinity. And I said, dude, they must love you because you buy freaking everything. So that's like ultimate business. His pull list is like maybe 10 people's pull list. So they're like, hell yeah, we want you, Andrew. We'll get you wherever you want, bud. Tevi's like, too many Batman books. Andrew says, love Venom this week. All right, let's see. Brian says, yeah, it was awesome. Venom 25 is going to be a key, probably. Kate's tweeted the cover of Venom 26. It might be a new character from Venom 25. Interesting. Maybe they come Fire Venom. Never enough Batman books. Let's see. I think it's time for me to get a new device. $37. That. So he's talking about that Batman issue 39 going for $37 on eBay for a book that's not even out yet. That is insane. I find that kind of predatory pricing straight up unethical. Yeah. And yes, the autocorrect is the problem, Mike. And let's see, we got comic shops pre-sale. It happens with everything that is collectible. Flipper got a flip. So do you think it's the comic shops that are charging that price that have them in stock? And then they sit there and go, if you want a copy, this is what you're going to buy it for? I'd still think even if it's a comic shop, it's wrong because the book's not out. It needs to be out in the shop. It needs to be on the shelf for $3.99. Okay. And once it runs out, then it runs out. Then what happens is there becomes a demand for it, which drives the price up, which then I can see. But if it's out in the store and you can get it, you should pay that $4 for it. Slime says sometimes they can charge more when it's a ratio variant, but for regular covers, yeah, that means they're hoarding all the books. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Unethical to upcharge for books that are not even out yet. Guys, I just wanted to say we have 35 viewers now, guys. Thank you so much. Again, if you haven't given the video a thumbs up or the stream a thumbs up, please give it a thumbs up so others know out there in the comic book community that this video exists. And subscribe and join the Facebook group page. Become a member today. Rockstar says, hey, Mike, did you talk about Thor issue 3 already or still to come? This was a bomb-ass comic this week. Literally, all my favorite Marvel pulls came out. Thor and Venom. So, yeah, we just talked about Venom, and we talked about Thor already. So, you might have to rewind or check it when the show's over to see my thoughts on Thor. Andrew says, it's 13 degrees here, and I'm over it. All right. Let's see what we got here. G-Spot says, do you use the Key Collector app? I use the free version of it, but I don't pay for it. And I use it every once in a while, not all that often. Because I think it's like, what, $2.99 a month, or I don't even know. I don't feel for me it's worth it. Because even though I read comics, I'm not a huge like collector of them. Like I need to find the first appearance of this or that. If I find a cool comic and it's a good price, I buy it. All right. And then we got Boom Hung says, hello, everyone. All right. So we're going to talk about this last comic book before we wrap it up. My kids are going to be home from school very shortly, so we don't have much time. So we're going to talk about the last book real quick and then talk about the topic. So, and it will lead into it. So Gwen Stacy issue 1. I got the J. Scott Campbell cover. Thanks for Peter Barker here for letting me know that this cover existed. But my comic shop knows me so well that they know I love J. Scott Campbell. They threw this cover in there for me. So they're like, yep, Mike's going to like this one. Great, gorgeous looking cover. Really love it. And I love the time period that this book kind of takes place in. It takes place in the early days of The Amazing Spider-Man, okay? And it takes place between issues 23 and 36 or something like that. It says it in here, but that's where, 23 and 30. That's where this kind of story takes place. So they're going to kind of fill in all the gaps with what was happening with Gwen Stacy and Captain Stacy and all this other stuff. So you really get to know more about Gwen Stacy in this particular issue. Okay, you have the enforcers in here. We see that she's really close to her dad. She's running for class president. She's really popular at her school. And we get to see that she works with her dad quite often to help like solving cases and get her input on things. And it was a really good issue here. And we get to see like characters being slowly introduced, like Flash Thompson's name was dropped in here, like, oh, Flash Thompson's this great football star. He's a sophomore. He just joined here. And we wound up seeing that Captain Stacy went on this mission to try to stop some guys, to try to put in a plea or whatever the case may be. And he winds up getting shot. He gets shot in the leg. And he's now being held against his will on to make a decision if he should retire or not. Okay. And Gwen Stacy's kind of beside herself with this whole thing because the enforcers are kind of holding it against them. They're like, yep, you don't want to go in on these cases. You don't want to, do any of this nonsense. You need to retire. So they're kind of forcing him to retire. And at the end of the issue, you wind up seeing Green Goblin making his appearance with Crime Master in here. So you wind up seeing him, and it's just like, oh, all these gangs are down, and Crime Master's like, it's time to make your appearance, Green Goblin. And he's like, yes, ah, and he laughs and shit. This was a good book. This surprised me. I did not expect this to be as good as it was. It was a fun read. The artwork here was really well done. And I definitely recommend this for Spider fans. If you're a Gwen Stacy fan, this would be a good book for you. You know, I can't wait to see how Green Goblin makes his appearance, how Crime Master is here, how Gwen Stacy gets involved more with Captain Stacy's work, and what happens to Captain Stacy to the point of his death, you know? So really good book. I could definitely recommend it. So now it's your turn, guys, fans, webheads. I want to hear in the comments below. This was the topic, right? Who do you prefer? First, do you prefer Gwen Stacy, Felicia Harding, however you say your name, or do you like, who did I say? Mary Jane, right? Out of those three, who do you personally like as a character the most? Now, the next question is, who do you like for Peter? Okay. Who do you think is the best character for him? So I'm kind of curious what to think. I told you my answer earlier. I love Black Cat. I think she is very much obviously Catwoman in the Marvel universe, right? But I just love, again, how seductive she is, how Peter Parker just can't think when he's around her, kind of brings out the edginess out in him. And I love how these two can relate to each other and go out in a town and team up and do battle with each other and stuff like that. I love that. Okay. Mary Jane is always kind of left in the dust. I love her as a character. I think she's a great for Peter, but not for Spider-Man. And for Gwen Stacy, I think I love her as well, but she's the past, man. We got to keep up with what's going on now, right? So that's how I feel about those characters there. So we got a couple of comments here. All right. So we got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, I think. All right. I think we're right here. All right. 5 Tool Studio says, I've been watching for months in stealth mode. Time to come out of hiding once and say, keep it up, Mike. Always looking forward to your vids. Thank you so much, 5 Tool Studios. I really appreciate it. You know, that's the stuff that keeps me going, guys. If you're silent, let your voice be heard. Don't be afraid to talk, right? Because if I am touching you guys and I'm helping you guys make decisions of what comics to buy, that's kind of been my thing that I've been saying for years. Then I know I've done my job. If you guys find me entertaining, I think that's awesome, because how do I know if I'm entertaining to people or not if people don't say so? So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Again, the thumbs up, the subscribes, they always help. The bell notifications, they help. Again, subscribe to the become a member of the Facebook group. Really appreciate it, guys. All right. And Scoundrel says hello. And we have Peter says, yes, Gwen Stacy story. Okay. Love Tudnock's art. Really good. Remember him doing Invincible Universe years ago. Man, that is going back a ways, Peter. Yeah, Gwen Stacy was a good book. Yep. And let's see. Does anyone else, local comic book shop, have a discount or like a customer loyalty program? My shop personally gives me 10% off of everything. And every time I spend $8, they stamp a card for me. And when I fill up the stamp card, I get $8 free. And you can pile up those stamp cards. So if I want to use 10 of them at once, I go ahead and do that. So there's times where I buy trades and I don't pay anything for them. Or I buy a variant cover and I don't pay anything for that. Or if there was a statue I wanted to buy, I wouldn't have to. Or a back issue, right? So that's what my shop does. And sometimes they throw in little extras to me because I'm there every single flipping week. All right, next. Peter says, did you cut out the costumes and dress Gwen? My God. Yeah, at the end of the issue, they had a paper doll Gwen where you could dress her up. It's like, oh, look, she can be a dress-up doll, so you can make her into that, which I thought was kind of hilarious. And then they came out with a Gwengers, where they're like a rock band, which is kind of hilarious also too. I thought that was really good. You know, I love that stuff. You know, you get creative there and make it fun. Rob says, was Gwen Stacy better than Percy Jackson? LOL. Let's see. What do we got here? I enjoyed Gwen Stacy issue 1. I really enjoyed it. Love seeing Todd Nux doing interiors again. Goes, I don't know. I love both of them. I don't know. All right. And the question is Mary Jane and Felicia. So likes Mary Jane better, but maybe Felicia for Peter, right? MJ hands down. Tevi says, I am more into Mary Jane. Gwen is the most relatable character, like MJ's feistiness, though. So he likes MJ's feistiness. They're all great characters. Don't get me wrong. I say let Gwen Stacy go. Vinny says, OMG, how do you choose? 3 gorgeous women. Peter needs to be with MJ. I know Black Cat is the sexy pick for Spider-Man, but my very first book was the wedding issue of Peter Parker and MJ, so I feel for them the most. I have both of those books, those the MJ and Peter wedding. I have the direct edition, like the newsstand edition, the direct edition, and I think the newsstand edition. I think I have both. No way, Tevia. G-Spot says, I got to go with MJ. Felicia will stab Peter in the back and throw him under the bus when shit comes down to the wire. I love that reasoning. That is awesome. And Scoundrel Gaming says, superheroes are my life. Says, we'll be back in 3 seconds. Give me a minute. But you said 3 seconds, not a minute. At Peter Barker. Personally, I think Mary Jane is more relatable in my opinion. I think she's more relatable for Peter. Yes. You know, but all 3 of them are awesome, right? I was like, how could you not? If you had all 3 of them standing in front of you at one time, what would you do? It's like, you know, it's like, who do I pick? Venture Comics says, if you have a pull list, my shop gives me 10% off. That's most shops, I think. Mine does that same thing. And Tevia Smoka says, I grew up with Mary Jane and Peter Parker as a married couple, then Gwen Stacy, but that's just my opinion. So yeah, everyone's got their own opinions when it comes to Mary Jane and everybody. I think, you know, the debate can go on forever. I think all the women of Peter Parker are gorgeous and they all fit him for different reasons, right? One for the past, one for Peter, and one for Spider-Man. But it's so, you know, at the end of the day, his heart is calling to MJ, right? So, yeah. We have Peter Barker says, all 3, I pick Gwen. So there you go. There's his final decision. So, yes. So there you have it, guys. All right. So we're wrapping up the show here. So, guys, just a final announcement here. Real quick, don't forget to tune into the other things that are here on the channel. If you like top 10 comic book covers of the week, guys, make sure you watch that on Mondays. Tuesday, have your most anticipated comics of the week. That's where I have that video where I show you books for next week and you can make your pull list for next week. Wednesday's the comic book haul. Thursday, you get to see, obviously, after the poll. And then sometimes on Fridays, you get to see Marvel and DC previews when those come out. So lots of great content and all this other little stuff on the new Facebook group chat, Comic Book Corner 2.0, Redheads, Webheads Unite. You guys can check that out. Again, I'm leaving it in the link below in the comments chat section. Guys, you've been awesome. Thank you so much for watching. This show's gone on a long time today. We talk a lot about books. I'm going to read off these final comments. And it says, G-Spot goes, if I have all 3 of them in front of me, I'd be like Captain Kirk. You, and you. Come see me in the captain's quarter. Mr. Vic says, Team MJ. Rob says, I would marry MJ, keep Felicia for my girlfriend, and keep Gwen Stacy as a friend with benefits. Vinny says, yes, he's laughing. And Scoundrel says, Peter Barker, I'm jelly. He gets most of the kindest girls. More than that, that's for sure. And we have Peter that's signing off saying, great show, Mike. Good talk. Take care. And Vinny says, peace out, Slayer. Have a good Valentine's Day tomorrow and the weekend. Redheads unite. Redheads unite. Thanks, guys. Guys, thank you so much. Take care. Have a great weekend. Good Valentine's Day to you. I'll see you next week. See you soon, everyone. Bye.